Hey guys, All Sports 83, sporting another video at you, and today we're highlighting the fifth race of the 2021 GoFast e-Racing Series playoffs at Talladega Superspeedway. And for the pole in this race, it was the 18 car of Rowdy Fan 18 getting his fifth pole of the season, and always a lot of fun at these super speedway races, a lot of drafting and maneuvering for position. And there'll be a lot of strategy in this race as well. You can see another newcomer here, the 2 car in front of me here, and that is Extreme Basin in the 2 car. And so we're going to have a lot of fun drafting and a lot of strategy playing out. All that strategy and maneuvering kind of starting early here as I was able to get connected with the 2 car here, and we were able to move down to the bottom side of the track and kind of get underneath the 43 car of Earn It 3 there and kind of push ourselves a little closer to that front. I get a little bit of the apron there, but it didn't really affect me too bad. And we just keep racing here, and then he actually works his way under the 18 car. Now, I think the 18 car wanted to try to stay loyal to the 43 car. They were trying to work together there, but there just wasn't enough cars on that outer lane at the time, and it was allowed us to kind of shift ourselves up to the front. But here's that 2 car tandem again, a big, strong, powerful draft by the 43 and 18, worked their way to that outside. But again, as we get into turn 3, it just wasn't enough momentum, not enough cars in that outside lane at the time, and the bottom lane would prevail, and it would allow the 2 car myself kind of stay up front. And then the 21 car, Fat Boy 13, kind of works his way underneath me and takes the second position. Again, I'm kind of stuck in that no man's land with not enough cars up top. So I kind of bail on that top side really quick. Kind of want to stay up front as much as I can here. Try to keep myself in a good position. And then, just like that, the 2 car moves up high. Maybe he was anticipating a run on the high side there, and then I was able to push the 21 car down underneath the 2 car, and then I got a little help here from the 18, or I thought I was going to, and then he actually tries to take it 3 wide. He's able to get around the 2, but all by himself he cannot have enough momentum to advance himself all the way to the lead. I would get a little help here from the 43 car, and then the 21 car would jump up high. So not really sure what was happening with the lead car kind of moving up and trying to shift and try to find the best lane, or what was going on there. That actually would let the 43 car, Earn It 3, would push me to the lead, and I would hold that lead for the majority of the rest of that fuel run. Here we are looking for some green flag pit stops. Again, here I come down pit road, kind of slowed down way too much. But on the back end, it actually kind of helped me out a little bit. As you can look here on the track map, both the 21 and the 43 car got a speeding penalty, so a 15-second speeding penalty there. Here's the next lap, the out lap for the 2 car and the 18 car. I was able to catch them just with the momentum I had of being completely up to speed. So it looked like it was going to be a 3-car battle here as we're going to come through another set of green flag pit stops, but it was us 3, kind of it gapped it on pretty much the rest of the field there. And then for something happened as we get toward the end of this stage, as we had to make one more pit stop, is some games started being played here, especially between myself and the 18 car. As you can see here, the 18 car kind of moves himself up, and he kind of lets me go, and I kind of immediately started to feel like what he was doing was he wanted to get behind me and be the 3rd car in that train, because you can save a little bit more fuel. I think all of us at this point were just a little bit short on fuel, and we really backed it out a lot. So much so that it let the rest of the field catch us. My game stopped recording for a little while, so I missed some of the action there after the green flag pit stops. But here we are coming to the checkered flag, and it was Earn It 3 after that pit penalty actually regained the lead, and our 3-car group just could not catch him, and he would win stage number 1. Extreme Basin in 2nd. I got 3rd. Fat Boy 4th, and Rowdy Fan 18 rounded out the top 5 for stage 1. Alright, on to stage number 2 now. As you see, Earn It 3 was able to maintain the lead through the pit stops after stage number 1, and so immediately I try to get to his bumper as quickly as I can, get underneath the 2 car here and try to work myself into the 2nd position. However, part of the thing that was really starting to be a little bit worrisome is that it seemed like all of these stages were about conserving fuel and making sure that you had the right strategy so you didn't run out of gas at the wrong time. So here at this point, I just bailed. I didn't feel like I was far enough back to be able to use the draft enough to conserve fuel and kind of lay off the throttle. So I backed out as much as I could. Again, the 18 car would not let me stay behind him. He spent literally the entire race, most of the stages, trying to stay at the very back. There you see the 21 car bailed. He didn't want to stay up toward the front. And then as we start to work ourselves into turn number 3, Earn It 3 does the exact same thing in the 43 car. He bailed. He had probably spent the most time out front, and that's the worst position you want to be in when you're trying to save fuel. So here we are at the end of that fuel run. We had stretched it as much as we possibly could. And so now we all kind of dive down on the pit road here, trying to make sure that we don't run at each other. You see the 18 car gets really close to running into me. Here we come off of pit road now, and the 2 car actually was able to stay out an extra lap, which is huge for the idea of conserving fuel and getting the most out of the fuel run. And so now it's one of the things you got to pay attention to is not coming up on the track a little too soon. If you hit the banking just wrong, it can spin you out. The other thing is it's a little bit unfair. You actually get to speed a little faster on the track, and you don't want to come out on the track. The rule is to blend on the backstretch. Here we are a couple laps later. I am now the leader. The 18 and 43 caught me very quickly. It took them probably a lap and a half. I had like a second and a half on them, but they were drafting together and they were able to catch me pretty quickly. They didn't pass me all at once, but then you see the 18 car bails again. Again, he wanted to be that 3rd car in that train to save the most fuel. We were still going to be very, very close on fuel. We were right on the razor's edge of making it on fuel, so he was going to make sure that he kind of played the sandbag game just a little bit and use that strategy to save as much fuel as he can. But then later on you see just a few laps to go, and they did use that draft and just blew by me on the outside there. But we're still not sure about the fuel. I'm doing the best I can to save. And here those guys just kind of went around me, and now they're still saving. So it's not really over yet. I'm trying to stay in their draft and make sure that I can get up there and save some fuel. You see here I still had to let off, so I kind of lost their draft a little bit. You see here coming off of turn 4, I'm at 0 laps on estimated fuel, so it could start sputtering at any moment. And you can see the 18 car gets a good run on the outside, moves around the 43 car, and just at that moment I think the 43 car started to sputter just a little bit as well, because he started losing a lot of time to that 18 car, and Rowdy Fan 18 will win stage number 2. Earn It finishes 2nd, I got 3rd, Fat Boy 4th, and Extreme Basin would finish in the 5th position. At the beginning of stage number 3, Rowdy Fan 18 did not pit, and he basically had no fuel. So right at the start, we cause a huge crash at the very beginning of stage number 3, and we had to throw the caution out, and then we all kind of tried to help the 18 car get back on pit road. And now we have the restart after that caution, and Fat Boy 13 is the leader as we begin the final stage of the race. And he's got that inside preferred lane. I'm getting a pretty good push here from the 2 car. One thing about this place is the car seems to be very, very loose on restarts. And so going into turn 1, so it's kind of hard to control the car. Couldn't really get linked up super well. But we end up getting linked up coming down the backstretch here, and the 2 car is able to push me past the 21 car for the lead as we set up for the final stage. Now, again, just like all the first 2 stages, there was a good bit of trying to save fuel and try to put ourselves in the best position to win this race. One of the things that we were trying to do is make sure that we got within a certain fuel window so that we didn't have to take 4 tires at the end of the race. We wanted to make sure we could only maybe take 1 can of fuel. And here you see the 21 car gets underneath the 2 car. Now I actually go high because I'm trying to stay loyal to the guy who had helped me to the lead. We had worked well all night long, Extreme Basin and myself, so I kind of went up high, but that 21 car had just too much of a run, and he was able to overtake and take the first position here. And here's a funny little position here. I actually thought the 21 car was going to pit, so I moved up high. I didn't want him to slow down in front of me and cause a crash. And it puts me out of position, and then the 43 car pushes the 2 car right past me. The 21 car actually stays out, stays in the throttle, and I actually lost a little bit of track position there because I wasn't exactly sure what the 21 car was doing. I took the opportunity to get around the 43 car when I had a hole there. It wasn't anything against Earn It 3. I just lost that position and wanted to make sure I was trying to stay as far up as I could as we were setting ourselves up for this final pit stop. And here you see the 21 car and the 2 car slow down, and they go onto pit road. Now, I wanted to stay out as long as I possibly could. I'd saved a little bit of fuel. I think the Earn It 3 had done the same, as well as Rowdy Fan 18. And what we wanted to do was stay out an extra lap so that when we come down pit road here, we could really just do a splash and go. Just take a half a can of fuel and no tires. See there, look there. I actually slowed down a little too much. It was a 15 miles an hour under the speed limit going on the pit road. And as you can see, that created such a gap between myself and Earn It 3. He had a huge lead. But then you see the 18 car, I thought maybe he would draft with me and we could kind of catch him here as we come up on the final lap of the race. But he uses the draft, moves to my outside, and uses that momentum to get around me. The other weird thing about my car here, just felt like the car just wasn't very fast. Even when I got behind the 18 car, it just didn't feel like I could use the draft to pull right back up to him. It just, the car just felt sluggish for some weird reason. I just couldn't get any momentum whatsoever. And so honestly, I was just relegated to watch and see what was going to happen here. You see the 18 car gets a move underneath the 43 car, and he gets a lot of momentum on the inside, and now it's just basically a drag race between the 18 and 43 car. Who's going to win it? And the 18 car notches ahead of the 43 and gets the win at Talladega. Earn It 3 finishes in second. I got third. Extreme Basin in fourth. Fatboy 13 in fifth, and Hollywood Don would finish with a DNF in sixth place, 49 laps down. So the second win of Rowdy Fan 18's career and the second win of the 2021 playoffs. All right, taking a look at the points here, a championship driver winning a race certainly has an impact on the point standings. Rowdy Fan 18 was able to cut 14 points off of my lead in the championship battle, and now we are at the halfway point of these 2021 playoffs, and with 5 races to go, 30 points really isn't that much of a cushion. So anything can still happen here as the championship battle is concerned. Rowdy Fan 18 certainly helped himself with that victory at Talladega. Also, Earn It 3 finally created a little bit of cushion for that Best of the Rest award. He now has a 35-point lead over Silver Piece 718, who was not able to make the race at Talladega. But again, that's not much of a lead with 5 races to go, so a lot can still happen in that battle as well. And of course, there's a lot of guys still in that race. Fatboy 13, Hollywood Don, Alex, TSW, Extreme Basin, Bullseye 127, and SC and 399. All of those guys kind of mathematically are still in this Best of the Rest award. I mean, a lot would have to go right for some of those guys toward the bottom there, around 8th, 9th, 10th, but it's still certainly in question here. But Earn It 3 with a good finish, second place finish at Talladega, stage win. He certainly created a little bit of a cushion there, 35 points. So he's got a little bit of breathing room, not a lot, as we have 5 races to go, like I said. But that's going to wrap up things here. Stay tuned for next week's video as we recap all that takes place in our next playoff race at the Charlotte Roval. That race should have an impact on both playoff battles. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.